Hello guys, welcome back to my Villamay Plantation, Florida. Sifu Miloš and my dear student Juan. Today we're going to talk about accuracy for punching and for striking. We got some questions about how I do practice that, how I do apply that. So what is it to have accuracy when you strike, when you punch, or even when you kick? Every style has a legit system how to practice this, because every style has a different core theory. So I'm going to show you today how I do it and how I teach it in the Wing Chun and the Escrima system. There's a difference between the both of them. In Wing Chun we always try to occupy our center line with our wrists, so this is how we punch there. In Escrima it's different. We always try to keep our box safe, to strike in our box, to protect the box in front of our body. So let's start with the Wing Chun system. You see, that's our logo. It says Wing Chun. Yeah? Great logo, right? Like it? So you see, when you have a student, he stands there, you can just punch him because he's so nice. You can punch him back, punch the logo. Yes, you see? You learned it. And it was accurate. It was right on point. Okay. Great. So, take a partner and stand with your center line towards to the target. Very important when you practice the Wing Chun way. Okay? And thrust out slowly one arm, so that one arm is on the target. Please, I'm gonna show you afterwards. Don't focus on the target, that you just stare at the target. This is not what focus means. Just aim the target, okay? And be focused on the things that are very important. And this is how to thrust out, how to be able to bring in use the right muscle structure. Okay? It's not about focusing and gazing or staring at the target. That's way wrong. I'm going to show you afterwards in an application why it is wrong. You see, one arm is here and the next arm, and my partner is patiently letting me do this job, because he should feel the punch lands all the time at the same spot. Okay? You see? So the next practice for accuracy is I go a little bit away. Okay, now I can take this part of the body, because to practice in the beginning it is very important to have a proper target. Okay, so when you're used to that, then it is about the next step is how to apply that on a moving target, because it is easy to punch someone who is still, who is steady. That's not a problem. Okay, but now accuracy has to be applied under all circumstances, and it's always easy to hit a steady target, but to hit a moving target, it's different. We have to practice coordination. Timing is about coordination and accuracy. So now I keep a little distance here, and that's the distance I want to keep all the time. First, I start just to practice standing, that I aim this part here in front of me. That's my target. So what Juan can do as my partner, not telling me before, just moving forward. You see, and I just want to keep this distance. Yes, you see, whenever he moves a little bit, I just want to keep my distance, okay? Again. And he don't have to tell me before. Even when I start, he can just come whenever he wants. You see, I want to keep that distance all the time without punching him. Very important. If you're not able to keep a distance, to have a distance feeling, okay, you might overcommit. You might even have your punch gonna be too short, or so you don't reach him, or you too close that you cannot accelerate and use the whole weight of the force of your punch. Okay? So the second practice is same thing, but he moves backwards. Okay? So we can move backwards. Okay? These are these three practices you can do in the beginning, that you understand timing and aiming a target or a target spot. Okay? Then you can go to accuracy is not just to hit the target. Accuracy is to keep the force into the target. What does that mean? I'm going to explain it with Escrima After that, we're going to talk about Wing Chun first. When I'm standing here, and now it's a very, very important thing. A lot of people don't know this or don't understand this or even don't pay attention to this. It doesn't matter if it is a kick, a straight kick, a cross punch, a straight punch. The highest amount of power in every punch we launch is in the last quarter of the movement. So my power has an amount here and here, but the highest amount of power is here. So in the last quarter of my movement of the arm before he's stretched is the highest amount of power we have. So when you start to practice it for Wing Chun, get in for a distance that your elbow is still low. Never start like this because you need space, so you need room that when you accelerate or when you stretch your arm, that you know that you put power in. What your partner is doing now, he is slightly resisting that you have to keep the power in. And this is what he's doing. So if I would just pull away, he's gonna fall towards me. So now I have to keep this pressure here with my second arm. You see? If he moves towards me, I have to keep the same thing in here. You see? That my arm is 75% stretched, not all the way down. Because we are not practicing here the full force of power. It's about accuracy. The same thing, lean in please, thank you. Yeah. When he moves backwards, you see, I want to keep this pressure here into his body because if he immediately moves forward, I want to keep that in. Okay? The next step is going to be, we do the same practice and he moves sideways or tries to circle. I have my punch here. So wherever he moves, you see, and I always want to keep this little pressure. So my partner is always trying to push a little bit forward while he's moving to see if when I pull my arm away, that he's coming forward. So you see the distance is closer. Yeah? So we do it again. And he can move wherever he wants. You see? Yes. Okay? I mentioned that it's not good to focus on your target. Because if I focus on his target, he has his hands up, okay? The fight starts. And I just focus, like gazing, staring at this target. And I want to move in. I do a lapso and I try to do quick. And he moves his head. This is what happens. And you see this in all the striking styles. If people are trying to aim the target so desperately with staring at the target doing this because you have to focus on the target, this is what happens. It doesn't matter what striking style. What I do here when he has his hands up, I don't focus. This is my target. Okay? And I focus on that target. I don't focus on a spot. I look at him because the head is a pretty big target compared to a fist. Okay? So for me it is important when I'm here and I launch in. Okay? You try to move away, please. Okay? You see, I can adjust my movement. If I just only want to hit this spot, when you feel something, you move away as quick as you can. You see, guys, this is what's going to happen. If I aim his head, the whole structure here, as my target, move as fast as you can. You see, guys, this is what's going to happen. Okay? This is for the Wing Chun purposes. Yes, have this guard please on this side. It's maybe better for the camera. I'm going to do it again from here. I focus on this spot or even on the nose. And I go in and he moves up. You see, that's what's going to happen. You see the difference? Okay? I aim this whole area here. And one of it I'm going to hit anyway. Okay? This is very important for accuracy. And accuracy means not slow, but don't hesitate. Slow would be like, okay, I have to go slow. No, you can be quick. Okay? But don't be overcommitted. Don't be like this. Quick is just to thrust out. That's quick. That's enough. Okay? The next thing is, what we're going to practice here to make it a little bit more alive. Guard up, please. Yes. So now we're going to do something. I, on purpose, aim this spot. And he moves his head away. You see, I miss. So my next point is then, work on accuracy, hit the target. Now I let him move somewhere from here. I aim the target. You see? So it gets more realistically. It gets more realistic now because we're still working on realistic proper targets. So he has a more realistic movement for that. Okay? So you see, we started first to have a proper target. Then to have an area in the body to be able to keep the distance. It doesn't matter. Still moving backward or forward. Distance feeling. Then to have an amount of pressure in, because in the end of the day, this pressure is the power of the strike that is launched into his body that ends here. Then I pick a realistic target, part of his head or his head itself. Then he brings his hands up, and then we go from there. So you see, you have a build-up process to aim a target and be accurate in punching. We have some similar stuff in Escrima. It's the same thing in Escrima from the core theory, but the application is a little bit different. In Escrima, our stance is different. I'm going to keep this stance. And again, I have my partner here, and for the Escrima purposes, because launch out your strike for having a good distance in a way that your arm is parallel to the floor. Why? Because for accuracy, to understand accuracy, it is not good to have a specific movement, whatever it is, because you want to feel this movement. Coordination has to be built by mutual understanding how the body works. So I take everything out that the body has to adjust some muscle structure, whatever it is. I want to take out all of this. This is why when I stretch out my arm, this is the easiest way for the body to stretch out his arm. He has to work, first of all, he has to lift the arm. Second of all, practice it at home. You see that your balance changes immediately. So you have to start to gain balance back. It's all distractive. So this is why it's not good for when you start to practice accuracy. So here my hands are here. Okay? My hands are not here. I'm not a sports fighter. The most important thing what you have if someone attacks you is vision. Keep your hands up, please. How do you feel here? Okay? Yeah? How do you feel here? Much better. You see, it's just a mutual feeling because we are a vision-dominated species. To have a double guard. I understand this when this guy hits you and you just want to save your face, but keep in mind then you did something wrong. Because the more you see, the earlier you can see the attack, this is what you have to practice to do. So when I'm here and I'm here, I'm going to be too late to see what he's doing. I have my hands here the moment he moves. You see, I'm able to see. I do the same thing with my hands here. You see, I have to mic backwards, but I didn't really move away from him. If he steps in, he got me anyway, and I'm banded. I don't want to have that. Okay, so again, back to the basic, hands down please, to the Escrima way of punching. Same thing, this is my target, okay? And I go out, out. What we don't do in Escrima, we don't do this, why? It's the same thing we're going to apply afterwards. I want to keep the energy into him. So even here, when you practice the distance timing, this gets exchanged by this arm. This arm gets exchanged by this arm. And this is how you avoid doing this. There are styles that do this, but this is the way they practice, they fight. We don't fight like that. We don't move like that. This is why we do it this way. Okay? You see I'm being here, bang, bang, bang. That's it. So then the next step is he moves towards me. He moves away. You see? Then the next step again, I start here, okay? He resists a little bit, that we have this energy in here, okay? So I do my thing, that he is not falling forward. Then he moves away. I try to follow up. You see, and I don't mind how often I punch. I punch my way and he has to move when he thinks he wants to move. Back and forth, the same thing. Now again, when he has his guard up, okay? I do the same thing again here. I focus on one spot, this or this. And I try to come in quick to hit him. You see? My point is not to focus on one spot. This is my target. Feels different? Okay? And the next thing I do, I don't just go with a haymaker or just launch something. You see a lot of guys doing this. Of course, they want to be sure to cover this whole region here and something's going to launch in here or in here. Okay? So this is why you see a lot of guys having striking styles, even boxing. They start with a fist here, okay, because they want to cover this whole range. But this is because they practice the way they do it. I don't do it that way because, keep in mind, it's a weapon-based system. I have a weapon, so I cannot launch out my weapon anywhere and try to focus or to be hopeful that he's gonna end where my weapon ends. Same thing here. I'm here, he has his guard up. I launch in, and the way I move, you see, this is my spot. This is why I don't do one, and then you see two. It's too much time. I launch this one in, and this one follows immediately. Okay, guys? So this is the practice with your partner. You can have a practice, come closer please, without a partner. So you have a punching bag, you have a wall bag, the same thing. Have a target, and when the target is still, then you have to move. Then you have to move backwards, pom, pom, pom. You have to move forward, pom, pom, pom. And to see how it works for you, that you're not too close and not too far away. Give yourself a task, what you want to execute here, okay? We can execute it in full speed. You want me to execute it in full speed on you?
Possibly go wrong.
I like that.
I need the views.
Okay, so guard up, please. You see, as soon as he has his guard up, pop. This is what's going to happen. That's the Wing Chun way, okay? That's the Escrima way. You see how much time you felt you had for escape, mighting, whatever it is. Okay, so we can do it this way too. Now the task is, I'm having my hands up here, Wing Chun style. He attacks me however he wants. You see? He can attack me however he wants. You see? Now we have a different task. The first task was, he brings his guard up, I do something. Doesn't matter, Escrima or Wing Chun. The next task is, I'm here and he attacks me, because if I'm here and he attacks me, and my purpose is to might, or to go away, or even, let's go again please, maybe to block something, then I waste time. And both systems, Escrima and the Wing Chun, La Tosa Escrima, and the Wing Chun system, the Learn Ting Wing Chun system, they have the same motto. We counter any attack by a counter attack. When I'm here and he attacks me, this is what's going to happen. So my goal is always to counter an attack with an attack. Thank you very much, Juan, one of my dearest students we have here. My VLMA in Plantation, Florida, Sifu Miloš. Come and join us and experience the best.